Thank goodness for that recap, because it pointed out that, in fact, he did point out. Because I remember he said, "Go kill Ridley." He said, "Go stop everything that's happening in this facility." And then he did say, "Hey, you go to the specific room, Bioweapon Research Center. Go stop this bad stuff. This bad stuff. It's bad. You should stop it." Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go get blown up. Hey, everybody. Metroid Other M. That's the game. That's the game I've been playing. I'm playing it right now. That's what this is. You know, I took a break after the last episode, and after collecting my thoughts, I will say it is legitimately that scene. That scene between Samus and Adam, his sacrifice scene that we encountered last time, it is, I think, legitimately might be the best moment in the game so far. I mean, I think the plot of this game has been very interesting, especially not remembering all the details. I like the setup. I like the whole history repeating itself thing, and the sort of the hubris of the Galactic Federation coming through, or selected members of it. It's not the whole thing. Can't have the whole Galactic Federation be bad, I suppose. But no, I think that scene was legitimately good, and I commented that I think it had some of the best writing, you know? Like, the actual writing was good, and I think in turn, the writing being just better, like the dialogue between the two characters being just better at that moment, and talking a little bit more like people, you know? I think what that allowed for is the two voice actors to actually flex a little bit. The person who voiced Samus, she actually emoted in that conversation for like the first time. Way more genuine emotion. When she's calling out his name, I kind of felt that. I watched the scene back a couple times now, and it kind of hit me. It was very powerful, honestly. I thought it was very good. You know, it's not like the best acting or dialogue ever. Oh, he's still torn up. Dang, we screwed him up. I do like getting to see him battle damage. That's pretty cool. What Wait, what? Wait a minute. Are they gonna go even further? Last episode, I was breaking down the sort of brilliance in expectations, the sort of how they've been playing with expectations for like in a lot of ways. you know, with like who's a traitor, who's not, what's actually going on here, what like ending scenes before you get to see something happen, and then like leaving you open on that. We are as you know, we only have as much information. Even though they give us a little bit more information sometimes, we kind of still don't know anything more than Samus does. Which is an impressive balancing act, considering they do show us a lot more than she actually knows herself. But one of the things I was mentioning was just that, like, the sort of the way they've been playing with your expectations when it comes to, where you think things are leading, what you think the big moments are going to be, right? You're introduced to this small little creature, and then, boom, it turns into Ridley. You find out what the bioweapons that they've been creating are. Boom, it's space pirates. Oh, we're just oh. Oh wait, isn't this where the last survivor was supposed to be here, right?
James.
Dang, I forgot who else was even alive at this point. I feel like everybody's pretty much dead now. Why was James here? You know what? Oh wait, isn't this where MB was? Madeline Bergman, I mean, specifically? Isn't this where we left her? So we left her, and then she almost got shot, and then this happened. Okay, so something tells me James was the traitor and tried to kill her, and then something happened. But no, the way they've been playing with expectations, as far as, so like they're building up this idea that like, and then you find out that they created MB, which is a copy of Mother Brain, and Madeline implants that idea in our heads about like, oh yeah, no, I mean it's gonna be the whole shebang all over again. We got Metroids, we got Mother Brain, we got Ridley, we got space pirates. It's just we've created our enemies again. And then what's been happening? Over and over, like what's been happening now? Adam went to Sector 0, this like hidden secret place, and killed all the Metroids and presumably the Mother Brain clone. And now we were sent to go fight Ridley because of course we're gonna go fight Ridley. Ridley's the last thing, right? Ridley's the big bad guy now. And then we see Ridley, he hasn't even healed yet. He's still screwed up from the first time we fought him. And now he just got killed by something else, presumably. I kind of love it. I kind of love how they're like, no, none of this stuff. This stuff isn't the big picture. Because, like, we're still missing the big picture. They're really solidifying that, like, this, not your dad's Metroid. You know, they're like, no, all this stuff is the old news, all right? That stuff's the old threat. Forget that stuff. Galactic Federation thought they could replicate that stuff and have it matter. No way. They've done something way worse. There's something way worse here that we just have not seen yet. Oh, I hear a beeping. I do think it's a shame that you don't get to scan things for information like you do in the... Oh. Ooh, a little bright there.
Ridley.
Oh my gosh, he got sucked dry. He's dead.
What could have happened?
Yeah. Yeah, no, wait. I'm thinking the Metroids... I'm thinking maybe not all the Metroids were left. Isn't that crazy? We're like all gung-ho. The music was... It played Ridley's theme. And it's like, yo. I kind of love it, because at first you think like, okay, so we're rehashing all the stuff that we normally rehash, just like any Mario game or Zelda. You know, it's same beats, different story kind of a deal, you know? Or same characters, different story kind of a deal, right? But Nintendo does a pretty good job, in my opinion, of remixing their stuff to where like they'll have the same characters over and over, like a dozen times, but it feels fresh like they find ways to really spin it every time into something new. Not always. Not always. Sometimes they really do just rehash some old stuff. I feel like Mario is probably the biggest offender of just sort of like rehashing ideas. Oh, you've got to be kidding. Why did they make... They made the freaking Mother Brain defense system. Are you serious? Now why would you, Are we about to go fight Mother Brain? There's no way, right? This is the classic build-up. It's weird. It's super weird because it's like I don't actually remember exactly what... I don't really remember what the end thing is, right? So like they're giving us the Mother Brain build-up, but she's supposed to be on the ship that Adam broke. And they've killed Ridley. They killed all the Metroids. They killed Ridley. Killed Mother Brain. I think James... I think it's safe to assume James was a traitor. Oh. Alright.
Sequence complete. Process successful.
No, but I think this is cool, this idea of, like, you know... They're like, oh, well, we gotta have Ridley, we gotta have Space Pirates, we gotta have Mother Brain in there. But so, like, they throw them in there, and then they're like, okay, freaking kill them all. And what I think is interesting about that, too, is that, like... They also, like, can't leave that Ridley alive, right? Because if I'm not mistaken... The actual Ridley from Super Metroid is still alive. I don't think I don't know if Samus ever actually kills him. I guarantee he shows up in Dread. I don't know that for sure, but I would be shocked if some form of Ridley did not show up in Metroid Dread or Fusion. So, which take place after this game. So, either that or they've completely written this game off as not canon. But I don't think anything in this. I don't think anything happens in this game that warrants it not being canon. Like, I think it covers itself. Room MW. What is supposed to be in these containment cells? Oh, look at that. It really draws your eye, because there's a light in that one. Oh, there's a light in all of these, actually. Hold the phone. I love that you can peer through. Now this is a good use of the mechanic. Oh wait, that's not Madeline.
No, you got it wrong.
Stay away.
Hey lady, chill out. Chill out, lady.
Calm down.
Lady? Oh, she shut the... Hold on. Do you think maybe that's actually Madeline, like the head of everything, and maybe the other lady is something else? Because the other lady was giving us some weird looks.
Wait. Metroid eggs.
Are we
Can't
fight?
be.
Are we fighting Metroids? I think I might remember what. Is it what I think it is? Are we going back to Samus Returns? Oh, it is. Yo, this is actually kind of sick. This is a good plot twist. Oh, and it's spawning Metroids. Oh. Oh, I got it. Oh, it ain't dead. Okay, wait, so I gotta freeze them, and then 3 missiles. One super missile? One super missile also works. Yo, no, this is sick though, right? Because, like, think about it. You get to experience freaking... Oh, get off me. You get to, like, see a fully realized... Now, granted, keeping in mind, okay, I know what I gotta do. Dang. This is hard to do with this many. You have to only get, you can only get them when you dodge. You like have to dodge and you can only get them when you dodge. Dang. Oh man, one was left. Gosh. Dang, they're just gonna get me every time I try to do that. Oh wait. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, how did they all break out so fast? I just finished charging the super missile. Okay. What? Okay. No more of that, please, ma'am. Ugh. What is that? What does that even mean? How? Oh my gosh, that did a lot of damage. Yo! I think that's doing damage. Hold on. You saw that, right? There was no fire. I don't know how to dodge that move. Ow. I can't believe that hit me. What the heck? I'm extremely confused about how to dodge that attack. There we go. I mean, yeah.
This facility will intercept Galactic Federation orbit in approximately 30 seconds. This facility will intercept Galactic Federation orbit in approximately 30 seconds.
30 seconds? Will that go in that quickly?
Emergency brakes engaged. Brace for impact. Warning. Emergency brakes engaged. Brace for impact.
Oh, this is what you actually did in... Wait, what? Wait, what? Yo, Samus, listen. Listen. You're the one who decided we needed to go inside the thing. Not me. I didn't want to do that. You chose to use grappling hook. I just wanted to shoot it. Right, I assumed we needed to use the super bomb, a power bomb. But like also, we haven't been given access to that, so you kind of had to do a little bit of a jump in logic. The game's conditioned you to wait, so. Lady, don't freaking run, lady. Did you just run to a different cell? God. The nerve of some people. Wow, they just had to. This kind of is starting to feel like, you know, Metroid's greatest hits in a way. They're just like, and by the way, here's a Queen Metroid. You know, just to really throw everything together. Who stopped the? Who put the brakes on the thing, though? That's what I want to know.
Don't come any closer.
I'm gonna take a sip of my mango Pepsi and.
Don't come any closer. Stay away from me.
Easy. I won't come any closer until you say so. My name is Samus. I'm an independent bounty hunter. I know the situation here and I know how you must feel. I'm here to secure your safety. May I come closer?
You know, Samus's civilian skills are getting a little better.
What's your role at this facility?
I'm responsible for all operations. My name is Madeline Bergman.
Ah, that's
Wait
what
a
I
minute.
thought.
I met another woman who called herself Madeline Bergman. What's going on here?
What you met was MB. She's an android. She was created with the intellectual data of Mother Brain and
No, I-
consequently developed Mother Brain's consciousness as well.
Why'd you do that? Why did you do that?
The Federation's foolish plan. Mother Brain's rampage.
It was already
Everything that
happening.
happened here was just as Madeline, or rather MB, had told me. The person who sabotaged the system to stop MB's rampage and sent out the distress call had to be the person standing before me. It had to be Madeline Bergman.
MB was the artificial intelligence originally developed to regenerate and control space pirate special forces. Because we wanted it to control these special forces through telepathy, we were forced to model its infrastructure after Mother Brain. At that time, MB didn't have a human form. Before long, we started to see the viability of creating Metroid clones. Once we did, MB started to take on her current shape.
But why?
Because we needed the first Metroid hatchling to recognize MB as its mother, she had to take on the form of a living thing. With that as our theoretical basis, we were able to create the ideal relationship with the Metroid. One that wasn't based on dominance or control.
Oh.
I remembered the baby hatching before my eyes. When it attacked Mother Brain in order to save me, that was the result of the kind of ideal relationship they were trying to develop with MB. They found the perfect means of control and started propagating Metroids in Sector 0. At the same time, they were conducting genetic manipulation experiments to create unfreezable Metroids. Apparently, the queen I met earlier was the first of these propagated Metroids to mature. They wanted to preserve her as a control specimen, so they had left her genes unaltered.
Okay.
The fact that she'd
That makes
grow
sense.
into a queen was something not even Madeline and her team could have predicted. Only special infants had the genetic coding to become queens.
Once our MB was in a human form, she excelled. As an interface between us and them, her skills with personal interaction humanized her to a great extent.
If my theory is correct, this is going to be a groundbreaking multi-system for artificial intelligence.
Her confidence was unwavering, and her ability to learn was greater than we'd expected, but then
But you didn't put a fail-safe
she
in.
developed emotions, then a nascent sense of herself. She began asserting her own thoughts, and her opinions began to contradict ours. It's quite typical for artificial intelligence to evolve as a result of self-analysis. However, there's no precedent for an AI like MB developing emotions. It's possible that her interactions with the Metroids brought it about, but we don't know for sure.
This is some crazy imagery.
The newly hatched infant took to her like his mother. And perhaps at that moment, MB began to develop a soul. It was all
Or something
conjecture,
replicating
but
one.
the idea wouldn't leave my mind.
And that was when we decided to alter her AI program.
A human-like existence, but one without feelings. To make MB less than human,
Oh
the
no.
researchers had to deny her that consciousness. I knew this. But in my heart, I felt sympathy for MB.
On the day we were going to alter MB's program, right before my eyes, I watched her being restrained.
Stop! What are you doing to her?
These orders are from above. Take her away.
Wait!
She reached out to me and asked me for help, but there was nothing I could do.
What's happening?
My presence that day caused a disturbing reaction in her. She was fixated on me.
Madeline had taken to calling MB Melissa. She took the initials MB and told the AI they stood for Melissa Bergman.
It looks great on you.
MB liked that name.
Oh.
It made it sound like Madeline was calling her her daughter.
Oh. You didn't give her like super strength, did you? Because that would have been unnecessary.
Once she felt abandoned and hunted by that same Madeline, MB telepathically commanded the special forces to revolt. The facility fell into complete chaos and suffered
Holy
widespread
crap.
damage.
MB was trying to get revenge on the Federation Army, and on us. It's possible all humans have become the target of her hatred.
With the space pirates under her control, she was able to propagate the Metroids in Sector 0, even creating a Queen Metroid. She was well armed and planning her attack on the Galactic Federation. But Adam and I crushed her plan completely. And now, who could guess where she was and what she planned next?
She's backed into a corner. And her hatred is entirely focused on you and me right now. MB!
Oh, she got a gun.
Wait, MB, calm down. Please listen.
Madeline, step back!
We were wrong. It's all over.
Madeline!
I was not wrong. The humans were foolish, and I was forced to bring judgment on them. And yet, because of you, I failed. You must understand the weight of your crime. You must pay the price for what you've done.
Please, MB. We have to get past this.
No. You will all be judged.
It's okay now. I won't ever fail you again. I promise. I'm so sorry. Melissa. Oh, Melissa, it looks great on you. That's your name.
that's a lot of dudes. Oh, we are in Galactic Federation. Like on the outside of it, right? Well, that didn't help.
What's that sound?
Oh, that's why they were evolving. They're becoming more mechanical. They're like biomechs now, basically. That makes sense. I love how they introduced more Galactic Federation guys just so they could all get murdered. I still don't have health from the other fight. Oh wait, they just respawn? Oh, this is gonna be so rough. They didn't give me my health back from... Was I supposed to go back and save? This is like when I didn't go back and get health for the Ridley fight in Super Metroid. Oh, that was a lot too. That was a lot to unpack and then throw me into that nonsense against new enemies. Why am I forced to be first person? Why do you keep doing that? Why would Samus... Oh, because I'm protecting the lady. Crud. Okay. No, that actually does make sense. Screw you, but that makes sense. So here's my biggest problem, right? With the idea of, like, creating artificial intelligence that, like, can... that replicates humans, specifically. Like trying to create, like, artificial beings that like replicate humans. Why is it? At what point do you decide it's? I know there are like tests and they've created rules like Turing tests and stuff, right? But at some point you have to let it go, because if you admit to it being alive or being a person, right, or being conscious, having the equivalent of, like, you know, the human soul, right, or however you want to describe it, at what point do you decide, okay, well, since it is a living thing, what do we do with other living people who are conscious of themselves and the world around them? Well, we've decided that keeping them locked up and running tests on them endlessly isn't good. We've decided that that is a bad thing to do. And yet we continue to try to strive and push for creating, like, basically living things. Like, things that are the equivalent of, like, a human being or a human mind. And it's like, this is what but then we treat them like lesser because they were created or something. It's like striving to become freaking brutal gods of other creatures, you know? It's weird and disturbing. Wow, it gets a free hit on me right away. I don't know. I mean, they're like all around you. And because of the way the turning works, look how fast I died that time. Okay, so the problem with this, right, is that in order to turn around, you have to hold down B, but your camera gets locked when you lock onto somebody. You can't look around anymore. But the only way to look all around, and they're jumping all over me. They're like literally surrounding me on all sides. Like, why? And that guy gets a free hit no matter what, by the way. They respawn. How do I get rid of the goo? Look at, oh my gosh, and then if I try to do the charge beam, they all just freaking surround me. Oh, do I just have to attack her? So I was supposed to attack her the whole time? I don't know. Oh.
Stop! Don't move!
Oh, I will take you all on right now. I'll do it.
Hey, are you okay? Hey, hang down over there too. I'm getting you out of here.
So, Miss Aaron, I heard what happened. You performed admirably. You can leave the rest to us. Aaron. Unfortunate what happened to Commander Malkovich. And to think that his entire unit was annihilated. Truly a tragic day. Would you agree, Aaron? Sadly, with them gone, you're just an outsider. And given your unofficial status, I cannot allow you contact with the witness. With your predilection for transporting illegal cargo like infant Metroids, I must ask that you restrict your... Time for the lady to go home. Someone escort her.
Yes, sir. Time for us to go. Come on, princess.
What? Stop right there. Who are you?
Anthony?
Anthony Hicks, sir. Galactic Federation Platoon 7.
Heck yeah.
I need to secure the safety of any survivors, Commander Malkovich's orders, and the purpose of this mission.
What?
Authorized by the chairman of the Galactic Federation. Of course.
What do you mean, the chairman?
But man, you guys made it here quick. I mean, if I hadn't stopped the engines, we might have missed each other.
That makes sense. Guess I'm still enlisted then.
Crazy. Crazy how something good can come out of something bad.
Hey, that's just like what I do.
Whoa, didn't mean to wake her. Guess I ought to be quiet.
Anthony was trying to be courteous to Madeline. She was exhausted and had only just fallen asleep. She needed the rest. She had a lot of explaining to do once she got to Galactic Federation headquarters. For herself. And for Melissa.
Still can't get my head around it. What a crazy mission.
Anthony sighed as he muttered to himself. What would have happened if we hadn't been called there? Might the furious MB have attacked the Galactic Federation and brought about its utter destruction? Melissa wasn't insane, no. One day, a consciousness simply bloomed within her. And those that caused it to bloom, the humans, called it insanity. I was the insane one. That was what Madeline muttered softly as she sank into sleep. The selfish conceits of humans drove MB to violence. It was their distorted perceptions and greed that awoke such fury in the fledgling girl's heart. Her thought was to punish the foolish and conceited. But MB could not complete her mission. As Melissa, she was defeated. With their one vulnerability overcome, the Metroids were indestructible. If some fool just following orders had taken the savage creatures to those who sought them. I can't imagine what would have happened if Adam hadn't recognized the looming danger. But the cost was far too great. Why did Adam have to pay with his life? For me, I couldn't believe he was dead. For the first time, I questioned his choice.
No objections, right, lady?
I heard Adam's voice in my head. and I knew in my heart that he had made the right decision. Just as he had so many years ago. In that moment, I swore not to grieve his death. And for the first time, I gave him a thumbs up, just in case he was watching over me. His amused expression looked as though he wanted to say something. His face and Adam's swirled together. That last smile as Adam drifted away.
Dang, Samus is so small. I thought she was way taller than that. So I remembered something, right after that fight. That's the end of the game. Oh. Ooh. Yeah, so... Okay, let's talk... Okay. We're gonna layer this, okay? Great thing. Music. Music was awesome. It was moody when it needed to be. This, like, all the orchestrated stuff is awesome. I prefer my Metroid games with the more synthetic kind of sounds, because I think it just suits it better. But, like, this is very nice. I think the reason... This credit suite right now, I think I like it. I think I'm liking it so much because like it reminds me of Star Fox. I don't think the sweeping space opera vibe. I think it suits Star Fox better than Metroid personally. I think Metroid is more of the thriller, horror, aliens kind of thing, you know. Okay, but I like the music in this game. Music's great. Okay, let's talk about that ending, though. I cannot believe that after all these years, after having already played this game, it shocked me all over again. Because I remember the first time I was playing, you fight the Metroid Queen, and it's not much of a fight. Right? You don't really... I mean, you get to blow it up with a power bomb. That's cool. And it is cool that you're sitting there inside of it and you're like, nothing's working. What's the one thing I haven't tried yet? Oh, right, that thing they taught me at the beginning of the game. Granted, they haven't let you use that. You did not unlock that ability, so... It's a little weird. But hey, whatever. It's still an interesting. It's an interesting. It connects the gameplay with the narrative a little bit there. You know what I mean? It's this huge last final moment, and you're thinking, what's the last thing I can do? Oh right, this mechanic they taught me at the beginning that I've never had to do before. The only problem is you never had to do it before. So it would have been better if it was having you do something that you've done a bunch. That's usually how you want to connect gameplay to story. Okay, let's go back to a thing I like. Gameplay. I think the gameplay is cool. I think it's cool. I still think it's awkward to... They tried to marry the classic Metroid Prime first-person stuff with a revamped, like, more action-y kind of game. And I think it's awkward. I think it's awkward to switch to first-person constantly, to use half your arsenal, and you're standing in place, getting wailed on by stuff because you don't have any other options than to get wailed on. Dang, this music is going in, though. Thing I like how they layered the Oh, really quick, to the voices of everybody involved. I think they did good. I think they did good. I think the lady who did Samus, I think she probably got kind of like a bit roasted, and I would say that was undeserved because I think the material she was working with, when it was bad, yeah, it wasn't great because I wouldn't know what to do with it. They wrote Samus, they had her monologue a bunch, and it was so stiff. The whole last cutscene right there was Samus monologuing endlessly, and it was nonsense stuff. I can't even remember half the stuff she said, she just said it. And the whole celestial figures in the sky, it was really cheesy. It was really weird and cheesy for, it's Metroid. It's just a different tone. But when she did have something to actually work with, to sink her teeth into, I think she did great. That scene between her and Adam is awesome. And there's a couple scenes even after that. There's like lines here and there where I think she does really good. Well, it feels good. Man, okay, but let's talk about that ending still. It is so... It oddly enough... Oh. Oh, executive producer Satoru Iwata. Rest in peace, Iwata. Hey, good job, Nintendo. Good job, Team Ninja, for having to do something so different. I think it's good. I think the gameplay is good.
Ultimately, the decision was made to destroy the bottle ship. A mission that will most likely be carried out in the next day or two. I'm heading toward the bottle ship now. I'm going to rescue something that was left there. Something that can't be replaced.
I do know what this thing she's talking about is. But what this is that because the end of the game just sort of comes pretty quickly and they lock you from most areas all the time due to narrative reasons. Oh. You can now use power bombs. Yeah, because they lock you from doing stuff so much. What this is how you get 100%. Now we can actually go anywhere we want. But we're not going to do that because we're going to do that next time in a bonus episode. Maybe 2 bonus episodes. It depends. It might be a little extensive. We're going to be going around a bunch of places. Now, granted, most places are just literally a straight line, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But okay, so let's talk about that ending. Let's talk about that ending. It actually kind of retroactively made everything I was saying about how good and poignant the disappointment was. It kind of made it wrap back around to feeling sort of bad. You know, it's really weird. It's really, really weird, okay? Because here's the thing, right? They build up, Space Pirates are back, Ridley's back, Mother Brain's back, all this stuff is back. And that's scary, that's horrifying, that's spooky, awesome. But then, and that's spooky, and then they're like, hey, that's not, none of that stuff is the point. You don't get to go fight the Metroids this time, Samus, you already did that, alright? Instead, you're going to lose somebody you really care about, and you got to go kill the one guy who is always standing in your way. because it's poetry, and it's got to be that way. You have to go stop Ridley, and then you find out that Ridley's been killed by something else. Holy crud! And it might be a Metroid thing. Holy crud, that's crazy. And then you have a really awkward, weird, not boss fight, but not really boss fight with the reveal and the sight of the fully 3D realized Metroid Queen must have been super cool for people who have only ever seen it in the Pixel one, right? However, I played the remake of Samus Returns, so I technically did get to see that version of it, lower res, you know, because it was on the 3DS. But I still did get to see it, but it was still cool to see it in here and to fight it. Except it wasn't cool to fight it, because you don't really fight it. You fight a bunch of Metroids awkwardly, and it's hard because you have to keep standing still and flipping to missiles, and you want to use the super missiles, but if you take too long, they break out, and you want to aim at multiple ones of them, but that's awkward too, and you never get to use that practically in any fight. And so you're like, okay, well now that it's all that's left is us and MB, Melissa, right? And you think you could have this huge, crazy fight against an AI that's controlling parts of the ship, can summon a bunch of bad guys, and then what happens is a bunch of Galactic Federation guys flood in. Samus goes on the biggest info dump ever. Like, they just plot dumped all over the place. I mean, did you notice in that last scene when she meets the real Madeline Bergman and they're talking together, twice they break to have Madeline stop talking, so Samus can just give you a summary of what she's saying twice in Madeline's speech about Melissa, and they just dump all of it. And then as soon as they reveal everything about Melissa, instead of having you go confront Melissa, you then awkwardly fight while fully stationary. You awkwardly fight 3 bug things, which seemed kind of cool, but they didn't really do much. You awkwardly fight those 3 bug things barely, but then you don't even really need to do that. All you're really trying to do is lock on to Melissa, but then you don't even shoot her. Madeline does, and then the game ends. What the crud? I was just starting to feel it, you know? It's so crazy. And now this is just me judging, because here's the thing. I know everything that happens during this section, this bonus part of the game. What happens in this bonus part of the game is rad. I love it, personally. I love it so much that I barely remembered anything else that happened throughout this game, but this part, the thing that's coming up, I do remember vividly, and it's stuck with me all these years, and I think it's awesome. And now, having played the other 3 games, I appreciate what they did here even more. But we'll get to that. Here's the thing. But just judging the game off of just the beginning to end, to the actual, like, to just the base ending of the game, it's very, it's very messy. It was a lot of ideas. It was a huge departure, and I'm a fan for huge departures. All right. I think that's great. I mean, like, one of my favorite series is Zelda, and Zelda is a huge line of huge departures. Not always. The basic idea is the same, right? But if you go from Ocarina of Time to Majora's Mask, and then you jump from Majora's Mask to freaking Wind Waker, you realize that's a crazy trio of games. And then you jump backward, and then you're going backwards, and Twilight Princess takes you back to some vibes that feel familiar, except things are dark now. You can turn into a wolf. What the crud? I'm a huge fan of taking those leaps and doing something new, right? The only problem is sometimes it doesn't work. And when it doesn't work, and this is what I think is really bad, you know. And when it doesn't work, people want to stop doing that. And then do you realize after this game, because I think this game came out after Corruption. I'm almost certain it came out after Corruption. Do you know how many Metroid games came out after this game that were like mainline Metroid games? Nothing. Nothing till Dread. I want you to think about that. I'm not saying this game ruined that, right? But I am saying that developers, when they have something that tanks, especially Nintendo, they get scared. They get scared. Heck, Nintendo will choose to stop doing something even when it's wildly successful and everybody's begging for it. I'm looking at you, Paper Mario. And then the game just ends. It's so bad, man. It's so bad. And then it ends on a huge long-winded monologue. Now, but you know what I was thinking while watching that whole end bit play out? I was thinking about how much I want to see what happens next. You know? Like it's weird. It was kind of disappointing, but it also felt like it was very open to more things. Anthony was alive. Madeline is out in this world now. She has to answer for her own things, and probably her only friend, or close to her only sort of person she can rely on at this point, is probably Samus. And Samus has two people who will probably be looking to her to stick around. Obviously, Samus was in Galactic Federation HQ, right? Who knows what she was doing there? Was she just testifying, giving her side of the story, doing a mission, like briefing people on how the mission played out? But then also, like, I think another bad thing about so like I can give the game that's another positive thing, since I'm trying to go back and forth on positive negatives, right? I think a positive thing is that I felt like this did successfully open a door to more things I would have liked to see. I would have loved to see it. Like, what would a sequel to this look like? You know, I felt like the game as it like in the second half of it really starts to like find its legs and go somewhere, but then it's over before it really starts to, you know, just when it's getting in the swing of things and like throwing some interesting ideas and stuff at you. But hey, you know what's a bad thing though? That agency that lack of agency you have the entire game, as you're constantly locked out of doors, you're constantly restricted on what you can use, you're constantly restricted on what you can do. That lack of agency follows, it even bleeds into the actual story, into the actual narrative, because Samus has no agency for the entire last act of the game. Because although in the moment I loved the decision to not have you go on to a crazy, spooky Sector Zero, a secret lab on the ship, and kill a bunch of Metroids and space pirates and have a big fight with Mother Brain, what they give you instead is also nothing, because then they kill Ridley, which they just brought back, they just introduced, and the fight with him that you have, that first encounter you have with fully grown Ridley, it was barely anything. It was like so short. It was extremely short. There was no challenge there. I remember when you fight Ridley in Samus Returns, in Zero Mission, in Super Metroid, it's a fight. It's dirty. You get battered. You were freaking blasting him to shreds. I took like a couple hits. It wasn't that bad. I mainly just spam shot, because all you need to do is this. This is all you need to do. And then you have no agency. You don't get to kill Ridley, which is what Adam kept you alive to do. Now you do get to kill a Metroid Queen, but you don't fight the Metroid Queen. You fight a bunch of tiny little Metroids, and then you climb inside her mouth and explode and one-shot her. And then you don't get to fight MB. You don't even get to fight her goons that she made. Not really. You just don't get to fight anything. Samus has no agency. I think the thing that really like drives home Samus as a character in this game is when Adam hasn't like been on comms in a long time, and then she's like, "Oh, I need to use this tool that I have," and then she's like, "Any objections, Adam?" And it's like, Samus, why do? So now, are you kidding me? I feel like that perfectly summarizes the problem with this game. Is that joke? It was not even a joke. It's supposed to be Samus being like, "I'm taking charge of things right now," and it's like, Samus, you should have been taking charge of things the entire time. What the heck? What the heck is wrong with you, Samus? like honestly, ugh. I think it's a shame they didn't use the rest of the team nearly as much as Adam and Anthony. I'm glad they did use Adam and Anthony a lot, but I think it would have been a little bit better if the rest of the team was also a thing. Also, let's talk about this, right? The deleter never got officially revealed. Like you and me know for sure that James was probably the deleter because he tried to kill Madeline or one of the researchers. He found one of the researchers and tried to kill that person. But other than that, we tried to kill Adam too, I think, right? but then other than that, what was the point? What was the point? Like, what was the point of that even? Like, it was a really interesting idea. They just didn't do anything with it. We had one confrontation with the guy, and then they don't even, like, officially reveal us. You know, because here's the thing about disappointment. Maybe that's supposed to be part of the disappointment, but here's the thing about disappointment, right? It has to tie into what the point of the narrative you're building is. And I feel like everything up to Ridley dying was playing into this idea of Samus seeing how wrong, like how badly things have gone because of one simple choice she made, right? Whether it's her relationships with people, whether it's all the research being done on this ship. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to blame Samus and say that her letting the one Metroid live was like the worst mistake ever, right? But clearly, she had the faith that she chose to put into the Galactic Federation failed her, and they failed her. And the fact that a deleter was sent on the ship, it just furthers that point that the Galactic Federation has failed Samus time and time again, you know. So I think the idea of like you expect and she expects to have to go kill those Metroids again because that's what she's about. That's what she's got to do. But then I like that it's about the disappointment gives you the bigger picture, right? Gives you the bigger picture of, hey, Samus, this ship is going on a collision course with Galactic Federation grounds. And tons of people, innocent people, civilians, a whole city, is going to get killed, right? Whether we take the ship down, whether they can take the ship down or not, many people are going to die. That's the bigger picture. You don't need to go sacrificing yourself to do the same thing you've already done once before, all right? Adam basically says, like, listen, I don't agree with your decision, but I'm not going to let you die for your mistake, you know? Whether it's a mistake or not, I'm not going to let you die for this because you have bigger things that you need to do that only you can do. And I think that's good, you know? Samus was thinking small scale. Adam was like, Samus, thousands of millions of people's lives are at stake, you know? A war is about to happen, and you can stop it, and you need to do that. Like you need to stop the ship. But I think the disappointment they take it too far because Samus doesn't stop the ship, and she doesn't stop MB, and she doesn't figure things out on her own. She doesn't piece things together on her own. She doesn't kill Ridley. She doesn't save Anthony. None of it. She doesn't save... She kind of doesn't accomplish anything. She killed a Metroid Queen, which would have been bad because like it was a twist. It was a huge twist. They didn't expect any of the Metroids to evolve into a fully fledged queen. That's pretty crazy. And it's like, yeah, that is pretty crazy. There were Metroids on the ship. They weren't the super evolved ones that couldn't be killed. They felt kind of ham-fisted in so that you could have Metroids in the game, even though you could have had them with the whole Sector Zero bit. That's the thing, right? It's like they kept flip-flopping. They kept flip-flopping from, no, we're going to subvert your expectations. We're going to play with your expectations to, no, but you are going to fight some Metroids, though. It's like, oh, Ridley's not really going to be a fight, but you do get to fight Ridley once. Oh, space pirates aren't really the big thing. Oh, but you do get to fight some space pirates. Oh, Mother Brain's not really a thing. Oh, well, you get to have an encounter with something that's like Mother Brain. Like, oh, we're not going to have you fight Metroids. Oh, but you are going to fight some Metroids. Like, man, I just, you know, it's, it's hard, right? Listen, all right, writing is hard. Stringing together a huge narrative with all these moving parts and stuff like that is hard. I'll be the first to say it. So like, credit where credit's due. I think that it had me going, it had me gripped for it, but it really loses steam at the end, and I think it's kind of a shame. It seemed like they both wanted to do something new and go down a risky path, but then they also wanted to do it as safely as possible, you know? So like, I don't know, you really just don't get to do anything. Like, what did Samus accomplish the whole time? I mean, well, no, because she doesn't stop the ship either. She kills the Metroid Queen, which arguably she was the only one who could do that. But I mean, I don't know if they blasted, if they blew up the whole thing, like the whole ship, that probably would have done it, right? If blowing up the one section Adam was on would have killed everybody, would have killed all the Metroids, all the Super Metroids in Sector Zero, why couldn't blowing up this ship kill the Queen? I'm sure it absolutely could have. Just a whole lot of just a complete lack of agency, you know? I think that really is the from beginning to end, that is the key factor of what they did to Samus, is they gave her a complete lack of agency. Whereas, what do you do in Zero Mission? What do you do in Super Metroids especially? You land on a planet and you say, okay, what are we gonna do, Samus? And then you take control, and then you're just going. And if you can't get to a place, it's because you don't have the thing to get there yet, and that's the only reason. And you have to go find it. It's not because you have it and you're not allowed to. It's because you don't have it. You got to find it. And hey, sometimes you can still sequence break. But hey, listen. If you liked this, or you liked watching this, if you're on Twitch, stick around, because another part will probably be playing soon, unless I've been streaming for a while. If you're on YouTube, another part will be out tomorrow, or the next day, maybe the day after that. Hit the likes and the dislikes, and leave comments, and hit hearts, and the notification bells, and hit the follow, and subscribe if you want to. Do whatever you'd like. I have something important to get that can't be replaced according to Samus. So, looks like this mission isn't over just yet.